Think about the last time you typed, how to make money online into a search bar.
Oh, I mean, we all know exactly how that goes today.
Right. If you're like most of us navigating the internet in 2026, you're instantly bombarded by these slick videos. Guys in rented Lamborghinis parked in Dubai.
Yeah, pitching like drop shipping miracles or pushing these really murky get-rich-quick systems.
Exactly. Systems that feel uncomfortably close to pyramid schemes. It's just a notoriously noisy and often deceptive landscape.
It is an absolute minefield out there. I mean, there are people genuinely building wealth in incredible, innovative ways.
But then there are thousands of people whose only business model is, selling you a fake map to a gold mine that doesn't actually exist.
Right, which is exactly why we're clearing the smoke today.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is to just cut through that fake guru noise, right? We want to extract the actual legitimate strategies people are using to generate real income online right now.
And we aren't just looking at like one single perspective.
No, we've got a massive stack of sources today. We're cross-referencing insights from financial platforms like Funding Sock, Mintos, and MoneyLion. Plus, a deep dive from a digital nomad known as the Wander Lover.
Yeah, and we've got web hosting platform tips from Hostinger, online microtask stats from FreeCash, AI monetization guides from OHSC, and even a YouTube transcript from Daryl Wilson detailing these clever digital hustles.
Oh, and we can't forget the strict legal compliance experts at IOBenda. So we are really looking at what actually works, from absolute beginner tactics to advanced passive wealth strategies.
Because honestly, the landscape has fundamentally shifted, even just in the last couple of years.
Yeah, strategies that worked in like 2022 or 2024 will actively lose you money today. So let's start at the absolute ground floor.
Makes sense. Where do we begin?
Let's say you're listening to this and you have zero specialized skills, right? Zero capital to invest, and you just want to know how to get the engine started.
Well, historically, the internet's answer to this has always been microtasks.
Right, like taking surveys, clicking ads, testing apps. Our sources look at platforms like Swagbucks and YouGov.
Where, you might spend hours filling out demographic surveys just to yield $1 or $2 a day, or maybe $50 over a few months.
Which is painful. But there's also a newer wave of platforms like FreeCash that gamify the entire system.
Yeah, instead of surveys, they partner with mobile game developers.
Right, so if you download a specific game and hit a deep in-game milestone, like completing a massive level 80 boss fight, you can theoretically earn payouts of up to $2,500.
Wait, hold on a second. We're talking about an era of unprecedented digital leverage, right?
Yeah.
And people are still spending weeks grinding mobile game boss fights or clicking surveys for pennies on a digital sidewalk. Is spending your time this way actually worth it?
I mean, that seems like a massive waste of human potential.
I agree completely regarding the financial return on your time. It's abysmal. But if we look at the underlying mechanics, those microtask platforms serve a very specific psychological purpose for a beginner.
A psychological purpose? What do you mean?
Well, for most of your life, the internet has been a place where you spend money, right?
Oh, definitely. You pay for streaming, you buy stuff on Amazon.
Exactly. So earning your very first dollar online, even if it takes you 3 agonizing hours of clicking surveys, it flips a cognitive switch.
Oh, I see. It physically proves to you that the internet is a two-way financial street.
Right. It breaks the mental barrier. However, you are entirely correct that no one builds real wealth clicking surveys. The real ground floor opportunity in 2026 is acting as an AI director.
Which is totally fascinating because we're seeing people make $500 to $5,000 a month on marketplaces like PromptBase simply selling clever text prompts.
Because the AI tools are incredibly powerful. But most people, they just don't know how to speak to them effectively.
Right. They get frustrated when the AI gives them a generic, boring answer.
Exactly. So if you can engineer a prompt that consistently forces an AI to, say, write high-converting sales emails in the specific tone of a 1950s advertising executive, businesses will happily pay you for that prompt.
And it goes way beyond just text now. The sources detail natural language platforms like Lovable.ai and Hostinger Horizons.
Yeah, those are wild.
Right. These let you build entire functioning web applications without writing a single line of code. There's a crazy example in the source material from Daryl Wilson.
Terms of service app, right?
Yes. He describes typing a plain English prompt asking the AI to build an app where a user types in their business name and location, and it instantly generates a downloadable terms and conditions document.
That is the perfect example of where the real leverage is today.
And the AI doesn't just design the way it looks. It builds the input forms, sets up the database, and even wires up Stripe.
And for anyone unfamiliar, Stripe is basically the digital plumbing that allows a website to securely process a customer's credit card.
Right, and the AI builds all of that in minutes. Then you can turn around and charge people like a $9 a month subscription to use the app you just spoke into existence.
Let's really unpack the implications of that.
Yeah.
Because for the last 30 years, your earning potential in the software space was completely gated by your technical skills.
You had to learn complex coding languages, right? Python or JavaScript.
Exactly. But AI has completely democratized creation. Your value is no longer in being the laborer who writes the code.
So what is it then?
Your value is in your ability to spot a real-world problem and direct an AI to build the solution.
But that creates an immediate paradox, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, if I can direct an AI to build an app or write an article or design a logo in 30 seconds, then raw information and basic software are no longer scarce, they're infinite.
And essentially free. Which brings us to the most critical shift in the modern internet economy.
Right.
When information becomes infinite, what becomes scarce? The answer is trust. Authentic human connection.
Oh, that makes so much sense. And we see that heavily reflected in the creator economy sources, like that deep dive from the Wander Lover.
Yeah, she makes a very blunt observation. Lazy affiliate marketing is dead.
Right, you can't just slap an Amazon link on a generic blog post anymore and expect to get paid.
People are completely exhausted by AI-generated review sites that feel like they were written by a robot. To convince someone to buy through your link now, you have to show that product fitting into your actual messy, real human life.
So you don't necessarily need a million followers, but you need a community that implicitly trusts you.
Exactly. And that scarcity of trust has birthed some really wild secondary markets because building an audience from scratch is harder than ever.
So we're seeing massive capital flow into acquiring existing digital real estate, like YouTube channel flipping. This absolutely blew my mind.
It's a huge market right now.
Buyers are prowling platforms like Flippa, looking for these aged YouTube channels. These are channels that have been around long enough to already meet YouTube's strict subscriber and watch time rules for monetization.
Right, so they're already generating ad revenue.
Exactly. And if you build a channel to just 3,000 subscribers in a highly lucrative niche like personal finance or software tutorials, you can flip it to an investor for around $6,000.
And many of the people building these channels aren't even showing their faces. They're using the AI tools we just discussed to automate the script writing and the video editing.
It's exactly like flipping physical real estate.
Yeah, it really is.
You find a digital fixer-upper with good structural bones, but like terrible thumbnail designs. You apply a fresh coat of paint, build up the monthly analytics, and then flip it to someone who wants a turnkey operation.
And that concept applies beautifully to another massive trend our sources uncovered. Stealth Reddit marketing agencies.
Oh, this is the perfect example of navigating the trust economy. So Google's search algorithm recently shifted to heavily favor Reddit threads, right?
Yes, so if you search for the best running shoes, Google puts real Reddit discussions right at the top.
Because they know users want authentic human opinions, not corporate blogs. So because of this, massive brands are desperate to get their products mentioned on Reddit.
But there is a huge catch here. Reddit communities are notoriously anti-corporate.
Oh, they will destroy you.
Yeah.
If a brand account drops into a forum and posts an advertisement, the moderators will ban them within minutes.
Right. The community aggressively protects its authenticity.
Yeah.
Which has created this bizarre, really lucrative loophole.
Marketers are running niche agencies that charge these brands anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 a month.
Wait, 10 grand a month? What do the brands actually get for that money?
The agency quietly seeds maybe 25 highly authentic-looking comments and post mentions across Reddit.
I see.
Yeah, the agency uses aged accounts with long histories of normal activity, so they blend in perfectly. They basically navigate the community's strict, unwritten rules on behalf of the corporation.
One creator in our sources even admitted he paid $2,000 for this exact service to promote his software.
It's wild.
Let's pause and look at the common thread here, though. Why are people eagerly paying $6,000 for a tiny YouTube channel? Or $2,000 for a handful of Reddit comments.
Right, they aren't paying for video files or text on a screen.
Exactly. They're purchasing bypassed time.
Right past time, I love that phrasing.
The startup phase on any platform today is just grueling. The algorithms deliberately punish new accounts to weed out spam. You have to post into the void for months before you get traction.
So corporations and investors realize their time is better spent elsewhere.
Yeah, they happily pay a premium to skip that grueling initiation phase and teleport straight to an established, trusted position. You're monetizing the shortcut.
That makes total sense.
Okay.
So let's say you've successfully bypassed the void. You've built an audience, you've established trust. The immediate next question is, what exactly do you sell them?
Right. Moving from selling specialized services into selling highly scalable products. And this is where we see the graveyard of what used to work versus what actually converts today.
Let's look at digital products first. The advice from the Wander Lover highlights that vague, sweeping promises simply do not sell anymore.
Not at all.
Like 5 years ago, you could sell an ebook titled How to Start a Freelance Business. Today, that's way too broad.
People can get that from a free AI prompt in 2 seconds. What consumers will pay for now is intense specificity. They want an outcome.
Right, so they'll buy a digital guide titled The Exact Email Templates to Land Your First $1,000 Client in 30 Days. Specificity is the new currency.
And you see that exact same demand for specificity in low-content publishing.
Yes, platforms like Amazon KDP, which stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, it's not just for aspiring novelists anymore.
Our sources feature people making $7,000 to $8,000 a month on Amazon without writing a single paragraph.
Wait, how do you make a book without writing a paragraph?
They're designing highly specific low-content books. Think daily habit trackers for nurses or basic 1+1 math workbooks and coloring books for toddlers.
Oh, wow. So you just need a strong cover design and an understanding of what parents are searching for.
Exactly. Now, while digital products offer great profit margins, we also have to examine the physical side, e-commerce and drop shipping.
Dropshipping is easily the most talked about model in our financial sources, like Hostinger and MoneyLion.
And for anyone unfamiliar, drop shipping is when you set up an online storefront, but you don't actually keep any products in stock.
Right. So when a customer buys a mug from your site for $20, you automatically buy that mug from a supplier in China for $5, and the supplier ships it directly to your customer's door. You just keep the $15 difference.
And the startup costs vary wildly. A print-on-demand clothing brand called Press Hero launched with just $500.
An artisanal home goods brand called Or in Zon started with $8,000 and eventually scaled to $20,000 in monthly revenue.
And there's also Slip-Into-Soft. They hit ROI in year one with a $10,000 startup cost. But dropshipping is deeply misunderstood, mostly because the internet gurus sell it as a passive, push-button wealth machine.
Honestly, I have to admit, my skepticism meter is flashing red here.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I mean, in an era where any consumer can download a global marketplace app on their phone and buy that exact same mug directly from the overseas manufacturer for $5, why would they ever pay a dropshipper a massive markup? Doesn't the internet make the dropshipper a totally obsolete middleman?
See, that is the exact trap most beginners fall into. They build a store, list a bunch of cheap products, and wonder why they make zero sales.
Because everyone else can buy it cheaper.
Right. They think their job is to sell the physical item. But the physical item is actually irrelevant. The successful dropshippers are practicing something called marketing arbitrage.
Marketing arbitrage. Okay, how does that actually work in practice?
Imagine a massive factory overseas that makes 10,000 different items, including like a highly specific, eco-friendly dog collar. The factory knows how to manufacture it cheaply, but they have absolutely no idea how to find the specific consumer in a Chicago suburb who is obsessed with sustainable pet products and is currently scrolling Instagram.
Oh, I see. The factory lacks the cultural nuance to market it.
Exactly. The dropshipper is an expert in data and consumer psychology. They build a beautiful brand around sustainability. They craft an emotional video ad, and they use social media algorithms to place that ad directly onto the screen of that exact dog owner at the exact moment they're feeling impulsive.
Okay, wow. That completely changes the paradigm.
The customer isn't paying a markup for the collar itself. They're paying a markup for the curation, the branding, and the convenience of having the perfect item presented to them when they didn't even know they wanted it.
So the dropshipper isn't really selling a product, they are selling the matchmaking.
That's brilliant, exactly.
But before anyone listening rushes off to build an eco-friendly dog collar empire, we have to talk about the hidden landmines.
Ah, yes, the less glamorous side of the digital gold rush.
Absolutely, because the moment you launch that store or start collecting emails on a blog, you are stepping onto a battlefield of internet law and predatory scams.
Right. First, let's address the scams. Our sources from Hostinger and Daryl Wilson explicitly warn against the traps waiting for eager beginners.
Yeah, like in dropshipping, there are fake suppliers who demand upfront inventory deposits and then just completely vanish.
And in the microtask space, there are sites that demand you pay a joining fee before you can even take surveys.
That is the universal red flag. If a platform requires you to pay them for the privilege of working for them, it's a scam. Full stop.
But the much more insidious trap for legitimate creators is the legal compliance side.
Yes, the experts at a company called Ayubenda break this down in our research, and it is pretty sobering. Let's say you just have a simple blog where you review software and use affiliate links. To see if your ads are working, you probably installed a tracking pixel.
Which is essentially a tiny invisible line of code on your website that tags a visitor's browser, allowing you to track their behavior or show them targeted ads later on platforms like Facebook or Instagram.
Exactly. But because that invisible pixel is collecting user data, you are suddenly subject to massive international privacy laws.
Like GDPR in Europe or the CCPA in California.
Right. You are legally required to have a compliant cookie consent banner that gives the user the right to opt out. If you don't, you are exposed to massive fines.
And the complexity multiplies if you run an e-commerce store.
Okay.
If you are dropshipping on Shopify, you are legally liable for maintaining a comprehensive privacy policy, explicit shipping timelines, and clear return policies.
And if you sell an online course, you must have rock-solid terms and conditions that protect your intellectual property and outline exactly under what circumstances a student can demand a refund.
Trying to run a digital business without these legal frameworks is, well, it's like building a gorgeous high-end retail boutique. But the front door looks like a sketchy, unmarked alleyway.
Exactly. It scares people off, which is a great pivot because the experts at Ayobenda make a phenomenal point that flips how we normally view legal compliance.
Most people view privacy policies and cookie banners as annoying defensive measures just to avoid getting sued.
But in reality, they are powerful conversion tools. Think about the landscape we've described. The internet in 2026 is infested with deepfakes, disappearing dropshipping storefronts, and shady data brokers. Consumer anxiety is at an all-time high.
Yeah, so when a potential buyer lands on your site and sees a professionally crafted privacy policy, an easy-to-read return policy, and a transparent cookie banner, their anxiety drops.
It serves as a psychological signal that you are a real, professional, legally accountable entity.
It builds that trust we talked about earlier. Robust legal compliance doesn't just protect your business. It actively boosts your sales by making the customer feel safe enough to swipe their credit card.
Okay, so let's zoom out. You've navigated the AI landscape, you've built an audience, you're selling scalable products, and your legal compliance is bulletproof. You're making real money. Now what?
Well, because the ultimate trap of the side hustle is just accidentally creating a grueling second job for yourself. You don't want to be trading hours for dollars until the end of time.
Right. Which brings us to the final evolution, shifting from active hustle to passive wealth.
Our sources emphasize a concept called income stacking. The Wanderlover explains that you never want to rely on a single point of failure.
So you build one income stream, stabilize it, and then stack another on top.
Exactly. For instance, she combined affiliate marketing revenue with passive digital product sales and then layered high-ticket one-on-one coaching over that.
She actually shared a personal story about how having this diversified stack allowed her to take a year-long maternity leave. Even though she stopped actively coaching, the digital products and affiliate links kept the revenue flowing.
You build a machine that eventually runs without your daily input. And once you have that capital flowing, you have to invest it to outpace inflation.
Right. Financial platforms like Mintos and Funding Souk suggest utilizing fractional investing, meaning you don't have to buy a whole share of an expensive stock. You can buy tiny $5 slices of dividend-paying companies or broad market ETFs.
And then the sources dive into the more adventurous territory. Crypto and decentralized finance, or DeFi. They mention strategies like staking and yield farming,
which requires a very clear explanation because the mechanics there are fundamentally different from buying a traditional stock.
Very true.
Break that down for us. What actually is yield farming?
Okay, so in traditional banking, you put your money in a savings account, the bank lends it out for mortgages, and they pay you a tiny fraction of a percent in interest.
Right, practically nothing.
Exactly. But in decentralized finance, there is no bank. Instead, you lend your digital cryptocurrency directly to a software protocol to help provide the liquidity needed for other people to trade.
Oh, so because you are acting as the bank, the protocol pays you the transaction fees.
That's yield farming. It can offer incredibly high returns, but it carries massive risk because if the underlying code has a bug, a hacker can drain the entire system and your money is gone instantly.
See, that is exactly what terrifies me. Imagine you're a beginner. You've sacrificed your weekends for 6 months. You skipped hanging out with friends to grind out a few $1,000s from an Amazon KDP store or an affiliate blog.
That's a lot of work.
Taking that hard-earned capital and throwing it into a volatile crypto protocol or even a turbulent stock market feels like a great way to lose it all.
It's a completely rational fear.
Mm.
And that is exactly why the financial guides emphatically preach a strategy called dollar cost averaging.
Okay, how does that actually insulate you from the risk?
Let's say you take your entire $5,000 side hustle profit and dump it into the stock market on a Tuesday.
Right.
If the market crashes by 20% on Wednesday, you are emotionally and financially devastated.
Yeah, you'd panic.
Dollar cost averaging completely removes the emotion. Instead of a lump sum, you set up an automated system to invest just $50 every single week, regardless of what the news says or what the market is doing.
Oh, so when the market crashes, your $50 just buys more shares at a massive discount.
Exactly. Over time, it smooths out the chaotic peaks and valleys of the market. The objective here isn't to take your drop shipping profits and gamble them on the next big crypto coin.
The objective is to slowly, methodically transition your wealth from active labor, which is you sweating over a keyboard, into passive capital, which is your money silently multiplying in the background.
Active labor into passive capital. That is the entire ballgame.
So let's bring this massive landscape back to you, the listener. If you are standing at the starting line today, in 2026, looking at microtasks, AI apps, Reddit agencies, dropshipping, and DeFi, it is paralyzing.
It's way too much information.
But the sources distill all of this complexity down to one incredibly grounding philosophy. The Wanderlever calls it the rule of ones.
It is the single most important piece of advice for a beginner.
Pick one single income-producing skill. Pick one platform to market it on. Pick one specific offer. That's it.
If you try to learn how to build an AI app while trying to run a faceless YouTube channel, while trying to figure out crypto staking,
You're effectively trying to learn conversational French, Python programming, and how to play the violin all on the same weekend.
you will master none of them and burn out in a month. Pick your one. Focus intensely until it generates revenue, and only then do you move to the next.
Master the foundation before you try to build the penthouse.
Exactly.
Before we wrap up, we want to leave you with a slightly provocative thought to chew on, something that wasn't explicitly outlined in the research, but feels like the inevitable horizon based on everything we've unpacked today.
It's the logical endgame of the AI economy.
Right. We've established that right now, an AI can write a brilliant sales page, it can generate an entire web application, and it can design a dropshipping product. The supply side is automated.
So how long until the demand side is automated?
Yeah, how long until you and I have personal AI agents living on our phones whose sole job is to scour the internet, read those AI-generated reviews, and autonomously purchase the perfect eco-friendly dog collar on our behalf?
We are rapidly approaching a reality where a robot is pitching a digital product to another robot, negotiating the transaction, and executing the payment.
What does human entrepreneurship look like when we are completely removed from the daily mechanics of buying and selling? It's a wild, slightly terrifying thought experiment.
But until that day arrives, your humanity, your ability to curate, and your ability to build genuine trust remain your absolute most valuable assets.
The tools evolve, but the human psychology of commerce remains the same.
Well said. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
Whether you're using AI to bypass the startup grind, curating physical products for a hyper-specific niche, or just trying to protect your first digital dollar with a good privacy policy, the frontier is wide open. Go pick your one today. We'll see you next time.